You should have high expectations. No. What an experience. No. Let me be explicit. No. Explicit. Idiot. Hello, I am Chris, aka Plastic, and this week we're going to take a look at the Neo Geo handheld that comes with a whole arcade experience. Let's take a look at the Neo Geo X Gold Limited Edition. Okay folks, this may be the biggest handheld package we've ever reviewed to date on Pocket Legion. Just for a scale reference, this is an Atari Lynx 1 box, and the Neo Geo X Gold Limited Edition kind of eclipses that. So let's get into this guy. Why is the box so big? Well, for those of you who don't know, this does include a arcade joystick and a dock that looks just like an original Neo Geo. So you can plug the handheld into the dock and then plug into the TV and basically use the arcade stick and have kind of a relatively authentic Neo Geo experience. It seems like the community and the people around this console seem to have a bit of a hard on for hating it, but I love this console. It's pretty amazing. I was a big fan of the Neo Geo system when it first came out. I think back in the original days, a system cost about 500 quid, and the games were maybe about 100, 150 quid ago. So like way outside the realms of my 8-year-old finances at the time. This guy, even though it's gone out of print now. So if you find one a Neo Geo X on eBay, or I think Funstock still have them on a discounted price for about £140. Yeah, you know, the fact this comes packaged with 20 games and special edition stuff as well. You're talking about a value of maybe, I don't know, £2,500 for about 150 quid if you can get one. So this is the limited edition one. It comes with the Ninja Masters card. You'll notice that the games come on it's basically an SD card. I think it's very slightly modified, but it is basically an SD card. The box itself is beautiful. It's obviously representative of the top of an actual console. More Neo Geo stuff on the side and the original logo. And here you can see the system in its full glory. So here's the handheld, the arcade stick, and then the dock here at the top. Kind of Switch-like, I suppose, in that respect. You know, it comes with a dock. You can add loads of extra games, and you've got this. We've actually got this quite slick arcade stick. Now, of course, there are things that are wrong with this. People didn't dislike it for a reason, but I think it didn't really get a fair rep. I think people hated on it too much because it wasn't original hardware. It used emulation, and then, you know, like, give or take, some of the emulation wasn't as good as it could have been on certain games. So it comes with the Neo Geo handheld, the X Station with HDMI and AV capabilities, the Neo Geo X arcade stick, 20 classic Neo Geo AES games, and the Ninja Master Neo Geo X game card. So basically, these are games that come with it. We've got 3 Count Bout, Fatal Fury, League Bowling, Puzzled, Alpha Mission 2, Fatal Fury, Magician Lord, Real Bout, or Fatal Fury Special, Art of Fighting, King of the Fighters 95, Metal Slug, Samurai Showdown 2, Baseball Stars, King of the Monsters, which was one of my favourites, Mutation Nation, Super Sidekicks, Cyber Up, Last Resort, Nam 1975, and World Perfect Heroes. Okay, so let's get into the box and try and get rid of some of this packaging. So here we have some instructions, and here is our Neo Geo card. So there were follow-ups that you could buy game for. Like I say, the actual console itself has now gone out of print, so you'll be lucky if you can get hold of them. But so yeah, what you can basically get is either 3 games on a card. I think there's 3 different packs, or there's another 15 game pack. I think that has kind of got a lot of the titles that were left out of this, and you can see here we've got the Ninja Masters card as well to try out. So let's have a look at the instructions. It came with some screen protectors as well, and I imagine the instructions will just be the usual caveats. Please do not insert this into a dog. Please do not set fire to it and float it down a river. Oh, there we go. Yeah, cool. All right, so fairly standard stuff in there. Let's have a look at. Okay, so don't know which is which, but this one of these will be the console itself, and one of these will be the dock. Okay, this one looks like it's the dock and the console. Okay, cool. It's all packaged up super nicely. I mean, I think part of the problem was a lot of people felt that the all said and done, this was more of a showpiece than an actual console that you'd want to take out and play with. So here's our dock, and yeah, it's quite a nice piece of kit. It is a lot lighter than a Neo Geo console. Okay, on the back here we have our HDMI out, our AV out, and a DC in. Nice little Neo Geo Gold package logo. Here we have some USB ports for player 1, player 2, power on and off, menu reset, and the magical box. There you go. So that's where we can slide our console into. In fact, actually, let's just have a quick look at that. So here is the Neo Geo X Gold console. So, okay, unusual design choices made. Firstly, you get a 4:3 ratio screen. There isn't a game on the Neo Geo X that is 4:3. Luckily, you can switch backwards and forwards. Let me get a cloth. I'll just put a massive thumbprint right in the middle of the screen. So yeah, there are no games that are 4:3 ratio. You get a lovely clicky D-pad. Well, that's pretty cool because most games are fighting games, things like Metal Slug, and a clicky stick is certainly a useful thing to have. Menu button, start button, A, B, C, and D, R1, R2, L2, and L1. HDMI out, so you can play directly into your TV from here. USB port, brightness, volume. Really wicked nice, like rubberized, detailed back on this thing as well. I mean, it feels nice in your hand. It feels unusually wide for a handheld, but like I can dig that. And let's just fit it into the dock so you can see. So the actual console can just live right in there. Now, I don't know, I'm not really biased, but I do think that is a much nicer setup than the Switch. I mean, this is like kind of soft material set inside. That's a pretty positive click in there. The console is well protected. You're certainly not going to pick up scratches on the way in and way out of the dock by using that. This is just fake, the cartridge port here, of course, of that. So if you were going to use it in this configuration, you'd probably want an arcade stick to go with it. So let's have a look at that. Okay. Oh, there's more than just the arcade stick in here. Okay, so here's our power adapter. Oh yeah, power adapter and power adapter adapters. We have an AV cable and an HDMI cable right here, and here's our arcade stick. So Right. Just take this one out. Okay. So, a fairly faithful Neo Geo arcade stick. Alright, okay, now to be fair, this is no Art of Fighting / Street Fighter 5 heavy duty stick. It's not gonna do you for that. But honestly, just for hanging around at home and having a showpiece to look at, this would do you absolutely perfectly. It looks really cool actually. Okay, yeah, still nice micro switches on it. Very simple. I don't know how much that would really take in terms of like serious fighting games, but yeah, certainly I'm pretty happy to have that as part of this setup. Let's have a look at the console then. So, all right, let's turn this on. Okay, so we have a power switch on the side here. So I think one of the biggest problems with this, other than the emulation itself, is the fact that the screen is only 480 by 272. There's some kind of obvious screen door effect, like on the screen when you're playing, especially close up. But when you drop it into sorry, I realised I made a heinous mistake earlier. The screen is in 16:9 ratio, whereas the games obviously are in 4:3. I'm sorry, it's Sunday night. We're all tired. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so here are all our different games. So let's fire up something we all recognise, the Art of Fighting. Okay, and this is your slot where you could put in your game cards, and then they just show up on the menu. So yeah, okay, to be fair, this is emulated, and I can't really tell the difference because I didn't have the original console, how different this is. Now if we press L2, we can switch between the original 4.3 or the stretch 16.9. So let's start this up. So as far as I can tell, it's an extremely kind of accurate representation of the original game, and to say the cost value ratio of this compared to the original console. Oh yeah, so if you hit the menu button, you get actually like a pause screen. You can either play or quit. That gives away the emulation, I suppose. There. Okay. Yeah, Robert. Let's do this. I like the fact you can taunt Robert. Poor Robert. The viewing angles, average, I would say. But I mean, for sheer sort of portability and being able to carry around all these absolutely amazing SNK Neo Geo titles, including the amazing Metal Slug, which was, I think, one of my favourite games ever. Yeah, I think this is a pretty amazing console. Okay, let's pop that back into 4.3 mode. I always liked how polite all the prisoner of wars were when you rescued them there. So always made sure they said thank you. In fact, there's one. Let's go get him. Of course. So, Neo Geo X Limited Edition Gold and all of the other superlatives that we could have around that. It is time for you to be judged. Neo Geo X Gold Limited Edition, all the other words. you obviously fit inside the pocket. And I'd say right now, you might even have a better software library than the Switch, even though you're out of date. Your emulation may be a little bit questionable, but you know what? I think you get a rating of XXX. Thanks for watching. Please do like, share and tell a friend. Jump over to our Facebook group and our Instagram and leave a message. This week's game is Metal Slug 2. Leave a comment and hit the subscribe button. And until next week, keep your pockets packed.